Hi, welcome back. This is week 5, day 37. This is April 29th. So it's more than a month since we started our startup. If you're new to this channel, we started a startup 37 days ago. I'm releasing videos every week to show our experience and what we've been doing, sharing the whole experience so that if you're interested in startups, you can hopefully learn from us. And I just want to log the whole journey through this way. Just to recap what we're doing, we are focusing in the entry job market or domain. When we say entry level, is workers who are not experienced, don't have that much skills yet, and who are looking for jobs. So that will be in retail, restaurants, warehouse, logistics, construction, like flag person who control the traffic. So those type of jobs we're talking about. There's a problem that workers are looking for jobs, but they can't find that. On the other hand, there are businesses, employers that are looking for workers, but they can't find that. There seems to be a mismatch around here. So we're trying to figure out what's going on and what we can do to solve that problem. That's the focus of our startup. So for this week, week 5, I am in Los Angeles. We're having a very beautiful day out there. I'll share that with you. So this week, I am helping a Japanese startup trying to enter the US market. So I have in a business trip with them. I'm in Los Angeles and I've been just back from San Francisco yesterday night. I was doing interviews between those business meetings that we had with partners and whatnot. So first, what we've done, what we've accomplished this week, we've done a bunch of interviews. I was lucky to be able to talk to my MBA classmate who used to work at Burger King. He shared his experience around like how the business looked from headquarters. That was very interesting. Also, we explored more on the competitors or alternatives or players around this area. So we actually logged in, made some accounts, saw how they function and what they did well and what they need maybe work on. When we are going to build a solution, we're not just going to make something a bit better. That won't work, that nobody will buy that. So we need to find something that's painful, that these solutions don't solve, and we need to make it 10 times better. So starting to kind of understand what the landscape looks like in competitor side. Back to the interview with my classmate, my MBA INSEAD classmate, he mentioned that from headquarters, they don't really care much about how the restaurant owners, the franchise restaurant owners communicate with their staff. So pretty much the business is left to those owners. They have the flexibility of deciding on the price, whether they want to join a certain campaign or not. They have a lot of authority on it. So it doesn't seem to be that the headquarters would want to have a certain communication service forced upon them. There didn't seem to be much of concern about legal issues or compliance from that conversation as well. This week, looking at all the alternatives and potential competitors, we did some research around InstaWork. We did other apps that exist in Canada and the US, and we found some interesting things. So there's a lot of gig work solutions or apps or web services around. And the whole point, and this kind of goes back to Marybiz, the Japanese startup that I founded, is that when you are looking for workers, there's certain expectations. Also from the worker side, if you are going to get a job, there's a certain expectation on the company. So if these expectations are met, both parties are happy. But if they're not met, they're not happy, they're dissatisfied. So from the company point of view, from the employer, if you have a job available and somebody comes to work, there's expectation that the work will get done, the person will come on time, they have certain level of work ethics, and all that is expected. But sometimes the person doesn't even show up or does not do the work or has claimed that they have experience of whatever they claim to do, but actually they don't or can't actually perform. So there's an issue of quality from the hiring side, from the company employer side. Also, I found a few videos around these apps and services that the workers were not happy for some cases. So they would go to the job, be there on time, but nobody's there. They can't find the managers. They stay there for 10 or so minutes because they're requested to do so. And they communicate saying like, I'm here and all that, but nobody shows up. They decide to leave because there's nothing much they can do, but the service kicks them out. So there seems to be a quality issue on the company employer side as well. Some people are not behaving professionally. Of course, I think that that's not a huge percent of that, but we'd like to know how big of an issue is that? How painful is that? What kind of experience is that? What are the services doing to prevent that from happening? So it'll be interesting to explore that. Also, I was in an interview with a retail company manager, and they assemble eyeglasses in Los Angeles. So there's a team that does that. Originally, they were directly hiring, but they came to meet a lot of issues. There were people who said like, I have a gun in the back of my car, or they had some drug issue. So like, no, like we don't want to get involved with that. That was just time consuming and inefficient and dangerous as well. So they decided to go through staffing services. They would go through staffing services. They will provide workers that met a certain quality level. And among them, they would find people that seemed to be very efficient, diligent. So they would actually hire them eventually. It was kind of a screening procedure. The staffing service screened them, and through their work, they would screen them again to decide whether they wanted them as full-time workers. That was interesting. So the quality issue is really important. Back to like Marybees as well, we want to solve that so that the people who pay for the work, the service, are happy about what they're getting. We need to figure out what is happening around the quality issue level, quality assurance issue, and figure out what we could do better on that. So for next week, we will be more focusing around like retail, we've kind of done a lot of restaurants, but we'll talk about retail, warehouses, logistics, see how those industries function, how they communicate, what kind of issues they have with the quality, and also look more for the alternatives to see what they do, what they can't do. Also, another thing that was interesting with Ted, he mentioned that for logistic companies, they would like to communicate with the customer. Let's say IKEA does that. They have this huge furniture that they have to deliver. They want to make sure that somebody actually receives that because they don't want to leave that in the rain. So they would communicate through text and phone. They'll say, hey, 10 a.m. we'll arrive. We're around the corner. We'll be arriving in 15 minutes more. The customer will say, hey, I'm at my house. So all goes smooth. But for other logistic companies, they don't have this function. So it's interesting if there's a need for that for these logistic companies. So that's a bit aside from entry-level job matching, but this would be something that would be interesting to explore further. So more exploring. I think this is a good thing because you don't want to build something that nobody needs. That would just completely kill the company. So we'll continue to explore, and hopefully within a few weeks, we'll find a really sufficient neck bleeding pain that we can work on. Confidence level. So right now, confidence level, we don't really have a hypothesis or a pain that we are like, yeah, that's it yet. So confidence level of a scale of 100, 30 or something. So not that high. We still have a lot of work to do. Learnings. So this week I was doing sort of other consulting projects because I have to make a living. So I was helping the Japanese startup enter US and finding partners and whatnot. What is important about that, kind of reflecting back, is that you want to work on your startup. So you don't want to spend the whole time of your life working on rice work. You want to balance that. And also, if you're doing something, you should do something. You should choose jobs that would be related to startup. Let's say you're going to do a restaurant service, then you should work in restaurant so that you could get more insight around that industry or that domain. This business trip was really interested in that point. because I got to talk to retailers and restaurants. The Japanese company startup is in the food business, so I got to talk to the food production companies and also the logistic companies as well. That was really interesting. I got a lot of learning through this business. Also, because I was working with the CEO directly, and he's the founder of the startup, we talked between like the interviews and meetings, and he shared a lot of his insights about what went well with this startup, talking about other startups and other business models as well. So it was very interesting to get a lot of knowledge and experience shared with me. So that's with week 5. I will continue to upload videos every week. And if you have any comments, suggestions, any requests, any opinions, that'll be very much appreciated. Please write that in the comment section. You can reach out. I have Twitter, I have LinkedIn. If you want to talk to me about something or you share something, please reach out. I'm open to that. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye.